Okay, Dr. Era, we can start now.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. We have almost 30 to 31 people with us. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Ira. I'm a clinical psychologist and also the founder of Mir Psychiatry Clinic. I'm very glad that today we are here to for such an amazing topic where we can maybe learn to create an environment that support each other's well-being, not only the physical health but also the psychological sensitivity. So I would like to give a little bit background about Mir Psychiatry Clinic. It's a very new facility, outpatient facility located in Dubai Media City. We have psychologists and psychiatrists from different backgrounds. We cater different languages, different cultural backgrounds, and medication management and any sort of a psychological challenge and therapies. Here we are. This is our psychiatrist, Dr. Nail Mustafa. I'm Ira. Our purpose mainly is to create awareness, prevention, support, and growth, mainly for the psychological well-being. And our clinic accepts individual from 11 years onwards. So this facility is not for the children; it's only for the younger adults. Today, we're going to talk about mainly related to workplace mental health. Why workplace mental health is very important and why today we all have gathered here because 1 in 4 employees experience stress or burnout annually. And obviously, that burnout and stress cost companies a lot of productivity. Not only that, it costs us a lot of our health in the longer run. Today's topic is very unique because let's say whenever there is winter or we are experiencing maybe cold or we have a flu. So any of your colleagues sitting next to you has a flu. So anything, you would like to be in an environment where it does not impact you more, or maybe that person will be like, I don't want to go outside for a walk, or it's very cold outside because I'm already having a flu. It means that person is trying to protect his flu from not being exposed to cold foods, cold drinks, or maybe ice cream or some sort of environment. That's a very small example of physical sensitivity, having a flu and then protecting ourselves from that. Now, when it comes to psychological sensitivity, I think that's the topic that hardly we speak about it. So, what we can do to protect our psychological sensitivity and also the people around us. What are the signs that can also teach us that this person right now is psychological sensitive? What does it mean by psychological sensitivity? So these are the objectives we have today. We have to understand the meaning of psychological sensitivity, what's psychological safety, and what are the benefits that we can get on the team performance and overall team's health. We also are going to learn about what are the UAE and global mental health landscapes, not only the landscapes, but also the policies and laws that are we have in UAE law. For example, right now in UAE law, I'm not sure because we have people today from different some DIFC free zone, some Javza, some maybe LLC. So every labor contract is different. But what I understand a bit in terms of physical health, we are eligible to have 15 sick leaves a year, maybe in one cycle, working cycle. So we want to understand what are the UAE laws when it comes to mental health as well. And most importantly, we want to understand what are the signs and symptoms we can observe in each other and maybe help each other to create a well-being or create a safe environment for each other to feel healthy. Because when it comes to health, it's not only physical health, it's a mental health as well. So today, that's what we're going to learn about. Now, when it comes to mental health, 1 in 7 people worldwide, which will be around 1.1, and people live with mental disorders. Now, having a mental disorder, it's 1 in 7. But when it comes to mental sensitivity or psychological sensitivity, the rate is much more higher because there's a huge difference between being a sensitive and already developed something that is requiring a clinical attention. Okay. Now, maybe having a flu is a sensitivity, but going fully into any sort of bacterial infection or any sort of maybe infection going on in body, maybe problem with lungs, that's a disease. So same it comes to mental health as well. We most of us can be sensitive, but maybe it's not a disorder. Maybe it doesn't require a full clinical attention, but maybe helping each other can really help us not to reach on that higher intensity of sensitivity. Now, there's been a recent study last year by Cigna Health that has identified with all the efforts, ongoing efforts that corporates and government is trying to do, there has been a huge improvement in terms of psychological well-being and safety by 64 to 70%. However, when it comes to feeling stressed at work, because we all understand, I'm in Dubai, we mostly are expats, we all are working here, everyone is hustling. Most of our daytime we spend at work. Um, so 89% people, they would report stress at work. And that's a very high number. Now, when I say 89% people report stress, that does not mean 89% people have psychological disorders or psychological challenges that require a medical attention. It's just a stress. So most of the time, that stress can be manageable, and that's what today we're going to learn in our session. Now, 18 years old to 24 years old, 69% of young adults, they report loneliness and they report more psychological sensitivity than being in your 30s. Now we're gonna learn about today that what are the main stressors. And I'm sure most of you will agree in Dubai, if we talk about Dubai, most of the stresses are maybe we are lonely because families are back home. The cost of living is very high. Personal finances are not easy to manage. Family finances, there can be a stress of traffic. Now, everywhere we're having like a huge difficulty with managing traffic. Every day, almost we are reaching late to work or maybe getting stuck in traffic. So there are so many different type of stressors that are not maybe linked with the work. So stresses can be different type. So before we start to learn about the stressors and psychological sensitivity in depth, I want to invite all of you to have a. So, right now we have 204 people. That's a huge number. So, what I would say, I would invite all of you to go in a chat box and write one word. And that one word is, what am I feeling right now? Have a reflection, bit of reflection. What am I feeling right now? For example, I'll go first. I'm feeling very curious and very excited about this session. So please, I'm going to go in the chat box. All the responses are welcome. How are you feeling right now? Sleepy, understandable. Grateful, exhausted, insecure, feeling a bit stressed. I'm feeling grateful today. I'm excited to learn more about this session. Thank you so much for your responses. Motivated, very happy, overwhelmed and anxious, relaxed. Okay. Waiting for the weekend, waiting for the salary, anxious, absolutely focused. Panic attacks and depression, understandable, excited, feeling loss. Please, everyone, please share. How are you feeling right now? Relaxed, hungry, well, worried, busy with work, lazy, not sure, exhausted. motivated, attentive, back pain. Panic attacks and depression, interesting, motivated. Thank you so much, everyone. I really, really appreciate you sharing these feelings with us. And I'm sure it maybe you have taken a backseat that, okay, maybe right now what I'm feeling. So one thing that I can see in this chat box, and we are around 222 people right now, you can see that these 228 people are feeling different emotions. Someone is excited, someone is motivated, someone is anxious, someone is depressed, someone is having panic attack, someone is having a back pain. It means when we all are together, everyone can feel in a different way. And that's absolutely fine. And that's what we call diversity. And that's what we call the all the emotions are welcome in any workplace, because when we come to workplace, somehow there is no way we can leave our emotions maybe at home. Yes, we pretend to because we have to do the work, but all sort of feelings are welcome, and there is no right or wrong way to feel in any certain moment of the time. It depends on you, it depends on your circumstances. So there is no right and wrong way to feel, and so it means there should not be any judgment. Thank you for sharing responses with us. Now, why it's very important to create a psychological safety. But before we understand why it's important, what does it mean by psychological safety? Psychological safety is the moment I told you, please share with me how are you feeling right now? How did you internally feel? Should I share or should I not share? This this barrier, this resistance of being able to talk about your feelings or what you're going through or what you are asked for, being able to share it without any resistance and without any fear of punishment or embarrassment. It means if we are in an environment where we are able to share with our colleagues or maybe with our managers or seniors, I'm feeling right now this way. It means that is a psychological safety because you don't have a fear of embarrassment and you don't have a fear of judgment or a punishment. That's psychological safety. And why it's very important, because if you feel psychological safe within your work environment, maybe in one desk, maybe there are six people sitting. And if you feel safe in that environment or on that desk, it means it will improve your productivity. It will improve the team effectiveness. It will encourage you to take risk and learn more things. It will help the team to adapt to change and recover from setbacks. And why it's important, because then we will also be willing to help teammates and to help one another. And for managers, and also let's say in any work culture, the main factor is not the individual safety. It's also about the safety of our colleagues, that we kind of create an environment where the open conversations are there and exchange of ideas are there in terms of respectful dissent. And today we're going to learn about that whenever you ask someone or whenever you're curious about someone's psychological well-being, how you can approach that person. Now, before how you can approach that person, what are the signs that we can look? Okay. Now, when it comes to psychological sensitivity, as I said in the beginning, there is a difference between being stressed or being psychological sensitive and being clinically depressed. Clinically depressed is a psychological condition which requires a clinical attention, and that's impacting your well-being to the very higher level. It's impacting your relationships, and you don't have motivation, energy, or any interest to go to work or meet with anybody. But when it comes to psychological sensitivity, there are few signs and symptoms that are there, but it's not onto the very higher level of any clinical attention. For example, if you look within you, you might be able to see sometimes maybe you feel fatigue and low energy, difficulty concentrating or making decisions. Maybe your sleep is not so great and there are changes in your appetite. Maybe you're eating too much or eating too little, and heightened irritability or anxiety is there. When it comes to identifying the psychological sensitivity within your team, you'll be able to see these signs. There is a withdrawal from your colleagues and social activities. There are mood swings and irritability. You can clearly see, I mean, when we share a desk or an office with other people, we are able to see and absorb their mood and how that person is feeling today. You know, we start to give these judgments. Oh, this person is very angry. This person is always irritated. Oh, I should not approach this person because this person is very non-approachable, always not listening, always within himself. This person is very introverted. This person doesn't like to socialize. So all these terms we have given to our colleagues, but maybe these are the signs that can really help you to understand that this person is going through something, you know. So you would clearly see the reduced empathy and compassion. That person will not have empathy for each other. There will be constant lateness to work, missed meetings, or maybe overcommitting and working longer hours. These are the interpersonal signs we can see. Now, when it comes to occupational signs, it's like a huge decline in the performance and missed deadlines, loss of motivation and disengagement, inconsistent communication patterns, changes in appearance or self care. Now, occupational signs are mainly not for the managers, but also we can observe in our colleagues. Like you see a colleague who was absolutely always on the time, had always a specific style of dressing up, or maybe, doing her hair in a different way. But now for some time you have noticing that person stopped dressing up in her, own previous way she used to be. Now she doesn't talk too much. Maybe she's always late. Maybe she's always missing deadlines. There is a lot of loss of motivation, and you can see from that person's body also there will be signs. There will always be signs of someone going through some psychological challenges. Now, whenever, like let's say, whenever you observe any of your colleague has gone through some major change. Now, major change, it can be, for example, someone has recently experienced grief. Maybe parent passed away, or maybe any family member passed away, or accident has happened, or has been diagnosed with physical disease, or any sort of big challenge that person has gone through. You will be able to see some signs and symptoms. But sometimes those kind of losses and challenges are not very visible because we are not sharing with each other. Our family lives, our personal lives, we want to keep it outside of work. But we don't share it. We keep it outside of the work. But the behavioral and emotional impacts of those changes and challenges will be visible to us. And we will be able to see that this person is going through something. So if now you know that this person has gone through a big challenge, or you don't know about the challenge, but you can observe that this person is showing all these symptoms, how you should approach this person. When it comes to approaching anybody, like you want to help, you want to maybe do something for that person, what you need to do. The do techniques are: be fully present and remove distractions. Anytime any of your colleague wants to open up or share something with you, try not to be on your phone and listening. Try not to be like on your computer or, distracted. If someone wants to open up to you or say something that I've been very stressed right now due to this deadline, please pay attention. Look at that person in the eyes because the eye contact is very, very important. And do not have distractions around us. Second, very important part is ask open-ended question. Now, open-ended question is, for example, you see a colleague that is not doing very well and you're able to observe. Don't go and say, "Are you okay?" Because this question is very close. It means that person has to answer, "I'm okay" or "I'm not okay." But use a open-ended question. How are you feeling today? So this way that person will be able to see, "I'm feeling this way." Notice nonverbal cues and maintain open body language. Reflect back and validate emotion. So anytime any of your colleague open up about anything, rather than quickly, do not respond quickly. Just take few seconds or maybe a minute to reflect on what this person has just told me. Don't respond too quickly. Reflect on it. Be patient, allow silence and pauses. It means when your colleague is talking to you about anything, don't interrupt again and again. Allow some silences and pauses and let that person complete whatever they are saying. Use supportive phrases like "I'm here for you," or maybe like "maybe we should talk to our manager together." Anything that you can offer. Now, what you need to avoid anytime if any of your colleague is opening up to you, don't minimize or judge. For example, avoid saying, "Get over it." "Come on, you are overreacting." "Come on, we all are stressed." "Come on, we all go through this." These are the statements that are really the foundation of not having a psychological safe environment. This is the first sign of not feeling safe because they are going to feel judged about it. Don't give advice that has not been asked. If any of your colleague is opening up to you, just listen. Make a space only to listen rather than giving advice. But if that person says, "What do you think? Do you have any advice for you? What would you do if you were in my position?" If that person asked, only then give advice. Otherwise, please refrain yourself from giving advices. Don't diagnose. If someone says, "My sleep is very disturbed, I've not been feeling like I want to eat," don't say that, "Oh, maybe you have depression." Don't try to diagnose. Maybe you can say that, "Okay, maybe you need to look more into it, that why you're feeling this way." Never gossip or breach confidentiality. Please, please, everyone. We all are adults here. And I know that maybe my performance depends on if you complete your task on time or no. So it means if you are not giving me the task on time, it would impact my performance as well. And this is where the gossip starts because gossip starts from where we want to put the blame onto other person, where we want to make excuses for ourselves, and where we want to really rationalize our own performance or our own challenges by giving excuses to ourselves and by putting it onto someone else. But we all are adults here. Try whatever your colleague has opened up to you, try not to gossip about that. Even if you are, sitting with other people, even the topic is relevant, please don't share that information with other colleagues because it's a breach of confidentiality, and this just creates a very unsafe environment where we don't feel like, okay, I'm gonna tell my colleague I just had a heartbreak, and the next thing I know, in 2 days, my heartbreak is a headline in the company. So that is something is a sign of very unsafe environment in any corporate. Now, how we can offer support with respect and boundaries? Notice and describe behaviors rather than labeling. If you see someone was very active, was always very bubbly, or talking very extroverted, and now this person is not that anymore, like something is happening. So use the statement, "I have noticed you seem quieter in meetings." rather than saying that, oh, you have no interest in it. So don't use the statements that show label or a blame. Rather than say like, I noticed you seem quieter. So there is a huge difference the way we approach our colleagues. Ask curious question, ask open questions. How are you been feeling lately? Listen actively, offer practical help only if invited. Now, practical help, when it comes to a practical help, what are the resources you have in your company that today you have to reflect? Now, the resources can be firsthand, if any of our colleague is struggling with something, we need to see that maybe you need to speak with your HR manager or maybe your manager if speaking with the manager is going to help in maintaining the psychological well-being for that person. Also, there are employee assistant programs placed in most of the companies. If you have one, maybe approach that. Then follow up and maintain confidentiality. If one day I opened up to you, so it's a human nature. Maybe I would also expect a follow up from you. Maybe in 1 or 2 day, if you see me, you'll be like, "Oh, how are you now? Is there any like change or is there any help that you want me to do?" Because human connection is when we open up to someone, we also expect a bit of validation, and that validation is a bit of follow up. Know your limits. You are supportive colleague, not a therapist. If you see that any of your colleague is going through so much, there can be so many signs. I mean, maybe some scars on their hands, maybe dark circles under their eyes, maybe hygiene is not so appropriate as it used to be. Maybe ask the question, but don't try to be a therapist or don't try to do too much. Give them the right resource for that. And your companies, your managers would know what are the right resources, and we will also talk about that. Now, um, let's talk about UAE federal law. As I said, there are 15 sick leaves we have for physical health condition. But unfortunately, right now we don't have any sick leave for mental health condition. There are some companies who are giving sick leave for mental health condition, but maybe they are following laws from Europe, your company is based in Europe also. So that really depends. But right now, most of the companies in UAE don't have a policy for the mental health sick leave. It happens, but maybe, you know, not so often. However, in 2023, and this law was effective on 30th May 2024, federal law, in which, for example, if I'm at work and I have developed a psychological condition, for example, bipolar or maybe mania or depression or any sort of psychological disorder, I will not get termination just because I've been diagnosed with psychological condition. That termination process has to be after like a careful consideration with the full board of a specialist, a psychiatrist and a psychologist, and input from the HR, and then they write a report if that person is not fit for the job. However, being diagnosed with depression or anxiety or mania does not mean that you would be terminated from your job. Secondly, within UAE, if you go to the well-being department of your company or your HR and open up about your mental health struggle, we are supposed to protect your confidentiality. And if we don't, there have been some laws that can really bring the person and company into challenges, which can be fine and imprisonment. And fine can start from 50,000 to 200,000 for breaching confidentiality of your colleagues. Now, when it comes to creating more psychological safe environment, we always need to see the psychosocial risk, conduct regular well-being check-ins, and just like understand the work-life balance how it's going on, how is the health overall. Because I have seen many companies sometimes they do organize some activities is like a group effort of losing weight, group effort of being physical active, group, and many companies are also arranging mental health trainings. And today's session is also part one of the example of that. Another thing, what we can do in review our HR policy and anti-discrimination, because in any company we have people from different cultural background. We need to understand the cultural sensitivity. For example, now Ramadan is coming. Not everyone is going to fast, but we are going to respect each other in terms of fasting, in terms of how we're gonna behave, how we're gonna dress up, what we're gonna eat. So these adjustments needs to be there, and it needs to be regulatory evaluated by our HR managers. Also provide holistic well-being support covering, psychological, social, and physical and financial health. Now it really depends on the insurance policies you have, because when it comes to seeking professional mental health in UAE, it's one of the biggest challenge right now we have. Most of the insurances won't cover direct billing, or let's say they won't cover psychiatric and psychological consultations. So when it comes to paying cash, it can really be expensive, and it can really be one of the barrier we have to seek professional help. And this is where most of the companies they have EAP programs placed, or maybe they have contracts with different clinics and different facilities where you can get a special price. Or maybe there can be another possibility, maybe companies can arrange group sessions. So there can be so many ways we can help each other to feel safe. We can help each other to improve our well-being, not only physically but also psychologically. There are some resources available, and when it comes to resources, let's talk about the options in Dubai. Mir Clinic, for example, Mir Clinic is located in Dubai Media City. If you need in-person counseling, psychotherapy, or trainings, managerial trainings, or trainings for the colleagues, you can contact Mir Clinic. There is one app, there is one website. It's called Empower EAP. Empower EAP, it's a 24 by 7 counseling. It's a critical incident support. They have HR consultations, and it's amazing. I mean, I have seen so many companies using it. Also, there is another app, it's called Meditopia for Work. This also has lots of live therapy, meditation apps. They have webinars, they have so many AI mental health companions. There's a lot that you can go on this app and you can learn. Now, Rashid Hospital is a government hospital, and anytime there is emergency and crisis, for example, if any of your colleague maybe opens up to you and tells you, I have the intention to harm myself, or I have the intention to harm other person, that person needs to be taken to the emergency department in Rashid Hospital. Because if anybody is having a suicide ideation or the plans, that person may require inpatient facility. And inpatient facilities in Dubai, we have mainly Rashid Hospital and Amal Hospital. Now, why EAPs are essential? Because employee assistance programs, it's not something that is an individual psychotherapy session, but it depends on how your companies have a plan with the other well-being providers, that what we can do about it. Now, this is an activity for you, and I'm gonna go back in the chat box. Please have a look at it. Your colleague Maya has become quieter, missed deadlines, and turns her camera off during meeting. She used to be engaged and supportive. How can you approach her? Okay. Now, these are the three things that you need to reflect. What signs do you notice? How would you start the conversation, and what support can you offer while respecting boundaries? Before, Maya was very active and bubbly and extroverted, but now she doesn't even want to open her camera during the meeting. So, how would you approach Maya, or how would you start a conversation, or maybe what are the signs and symptoms that you would see? I'm going to go in the chat box, and all the responses are welcome. Okay. Give a coffee. I do cry if I see someone feel down and sad. Please, everyone, think about it. Maya was doing very well, but now you have started to notice some changes. What would you do for Maya, or how would you approach her? Give them space first. Sudden quietness can be a reaction to stress, burnout, personal issues, or even feeling overwhelmed. Absolutely fine. Thank you, April, for sharing this response. Come on, everyone. We are 290 people right now. We expect more responses. I give them words of motivation. Take her out of office for coffee or restaurant. Start a casual chat and then let her open up. Yes, we'll engage Maya in a conversation. Perfect. We'll spend some time with her. Ask how is she feeling today. Invite for a short talk and coffee. Have an open conversation with her. If they don't open up, don't push. Perfectly, April. I absolutely agree with you. Don't push. You can ask, but you cannot push. Give her a hug if she's close. She became quieter, missed deadlines. How are you, Maya? You seems to be different than before. Yes. Pay full attention to the person. Go on vacation. I would take her out for a coffee, ask Maya to chill out, maybe play billiards or get a massage. Okay. Yes. And again, when it comes to giving advices, we spoke about that we don't give advice until it's being asked. If Maya wants our advice from us, only then we will give advice. Otherwise, we will not give her the options because something that maybe might work for us doesn't work for Maya. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, this is also like, why are you ignoring me? Try not to take Maya's reactions personal because it's not, most of the time, it's not personal. Hi, Maya, are you okay to talk? Yeah, we can say, hi, Maya, how are you feeling today? Let's go for a coffee. Let's have a talk. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing these responses. I really appreciate. Although we could get more, but I do appreciate it. Check out this funny video. Yes, you can distract Maya, of course. Eh, Yes, and Mole, this is a very nice. This is a very nice way. Hi, Maya. I just wanted to check in. I've noticed you seemed a bit quieter lately, and I just wanted to see how are you doing. Yes, that's a very nice question. Thank you for sharing all these responses. And it's just one of the example. And I'm not sure because today in the session we are almost 280 people right now. And I'm sure you work in big companies or maybe in small companies. You see so many people every day. But obviously we cannot be observant and we cannot help so many people, all the people in our company. Mostly you'll be able to see the people you are able to work together or maybe with your manager or maybe the close people in your team or your friends. But when it comes to group well-being, I think having conversations during such trainings or maybe in events, this is where you can really help each other to support. All right. So today the reflection is, uh, what are you going to do? One thing that you would do. Would you like new insight about psychological safety resonated most with you? Like, what did you learn today from the session? Is psychological well-being and sensitivity. It's about feeling safe. Feeling safe means if I want to share my emotions with other people, do I feel safe or do I have a fear of gossip, embarrassment, punishment, or being judged? And if you want to understand if your work environment is psychological safe, just ask yourself this question. Now, how we can help? We can help with the scheduled group sessions. Group sessions, it can be any one topic. For example, somebody, let's say somebody is going through maybe grief, and people are asking to conduct a session on grief, how to manage grief. We can arrange sessions on that. There can be different topics that can be covered in group therapy session. If individual psychotherapy sessions are not needed, or if it's needed and the resources are not available, group sessions can be conducted. Also, employees who may need one-to-one therapy can access confidential sessions. These can be arranged directly with Mir Clinic or through HR. Employee well-being packages. There are different packages that can be arranged. I'm not sure today in our conversation how many HR managers are there. So there can be different things that we can do. Apart from that, Mir Clinic conduct 4 support group every month. And in February, we have 4 support group which are online for 1 hour, and these are free of cost to join. And these are the topics. First topic is stress, burnout, and work-life balance. Second topic is anxiety and depression. Third is the healing from heartbreak, and the fourth is self-compassion and inner critic. Now, these support group, how it works, we maybe 20 or 30 people join together and we learn about only the specific topic and share our insights and challenges that we are going through only related to this topic. So if you feel like any of the topic resonated with you, please feel free to join support group in February. Thank you so much. Q&A questions are welcome. And if you want, please write your questions in the chat box so I can answer one by one. Someone just PM me saying, Maya, update your CV. All right, that's a funny one, Catherine. Can we have the questions? If you have any question, please write your question in a chat box. Anything related to psychological well-being, work environment, helping each other, signs of burnout, anything related to mental health, all the questions are welcome. Thank you, Suresh. Thank you, April. Okay, let me go back to this question. Thank you, Ira, for the session. Okay, the multicultural can look different across various cultures. How can we ensure our support is perceived as empathetic rather than intrusive when dealing with colleagues from different cultures that are more private about their personal well-being? Um, Actually, this is a very understandable question because some people they don't want to open up. But your job, as one of the person said in comment, if that person opens up, it's fine. Don't push too much. You can ask a question, how are you feeling today? And if that person is feeling safe enough, will open up. And if that person doesn't want to open up, don't ask the leading question. My friend who had a heartbreak and told this to guys, and they all are mocked. What is the advice that you will give for this situation? I, Kumar, and I did not get your question. Did she tell this to maybe colleague, and now it's all been spread in the company? How to handle bullying and people with negativity? Actually, bullying and people with negativity, it's a very different topic because when it comes to bullying, companies mostly have laws. Your HR departments, they should have laws and some principles that we all follow at workplace. If you if you have gone through anything that you feel like it's a bully, then you need to report it. Speak with that person. If that person validated, then you need to figure out with this person. But you, if you think that it's being only, extended, then you need to speak with your HR. So if they don't want to open up because of the insecurities, but they don't want to get rid of it, I think the first step is always opening up. Maybe they don't need to open up at work, but maybe some friend or something, or anybody they can trust. If still they have a difficulty of opening up even to friends and family members, then they maybe need to speak with the therapist, because with the therapist they won't be feeling judged because of their insecurities. uh, I'm so sorry, Shoji. Right now I don't have a contacts of clinics in Doha. However, maybe your insurance provider, Futem Insurance, can maybe help you with that. I'm so sorry. Right now, I don't have contacts in Doha. We all have Maya moment every now and then. Sometimes we all need these a breathing room, a week time off from everything. Absolutely, I agree with you, Ravi, because we all have this, and that's what I said. There is a difference between psychological disorder and psychological distress. We all feel this way, but then we bounce back. But if you observe that someone is not able to bounce back, this is where we need to approach that person. Not immediately, not the next day or not the next week. You need to take your time also. That naturally introverted and quiet. The thing is, if someone is naturally introverted and quiet, still there will be few signs and symptoms that you will be able to see if you are close to this person. Because creating psychological well-being does not mean that you start to be very observant to all the people around you. If you are close to this person and this person is introverted, but still there will be some difference in the mood. Maybe this person is not happy, not smiling enough, not eating enough. Something, some other signs will be there. Any more question? How do you handle situations where you feel misunderstood? How do you take care of your psychological well-being after losing both parents? So losing both parents is one of the hardest thing that we will go through, and we need to understand that there will be a time we will be feeling emotionally unwell. At least 6 months to 1 year, it would take you to bounce back to really, feel that you now the emotional impacts are less or the physical impacts are less. It takes a lot of time. But how do you take care of your well-being is basically reaching out, maybe spending time with your friends, and maybe doing a walk, maybe creating any sort of ritual that help you to connect with your parents. Because it's a very difficult question, Anmol, because it takes a lot of time to really adapt with this loss. Um, Close ones are blaming everything on you, how to overcome this thought as it observed that other person might be wrong, how to make them understand in a calm way. Actually, if your close ones are blaming on you, everything that I think there is a huge problem in the way we communicate with each other because it's more a problem of communication, how we communicate. But really depends on if you feel misunderstood, maybe then that is not the right person for you to talk because again if we feel misunderstood or being criticized, it means we do not feel psychologically safe to speak with this person. So you don't need to. You can find some other resources. There are other ways also to seek help or to other people to talk. And if Shri Rashmi, if you feel like you are being blamed all the time, that is something is a relationship issue. All right, thank you so much, everyone. It was nice having all of you here. I really hope that maybe out of 290 people, even like five people, if they will be able to reflect on how I feel, how psychologically safe I feel at my work environment, and how I can make other people feel psychologically safe in the work environment. I think it would be amazing even if five people will be able to reflect on that. And again, I think half of our day, every day, we spend at work. And it's very important to create such a safe environment for each other, which promotes only well being and safety, promote growth and also resilience and support for each other, rather than just feeling like, oh my God, I hate going to work. This feeling is something that we don't want to keep it for longer time because it's bad for physical health as well as for mental health. Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate all of you being here. If you ever need any help, please you can contact Mir Psychiatric Clinic. Thank you.
Thank you, Ira. Thank you all for participating today.
Thank you.